What's up guys, MissBest here, back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes gameplay video. This gameplay video is edited video from a couple days ago, so bear with me here. We have a lot to cover. We got a protection patch, we got a new event, we've got a lot going on. The new event is the Omega Battles. You have a limited number of characters that you have to have at least 3 of the characters at particular star levels to actually be able to complete the events. I got lucky this first battle that I got into. I had two 7-star characters and a 6-star character. Woohoo! So I cleared this no problem. The nice thing about this is that they're finally giving us a good way, an easy way rather, to get ourselves some Omega Mats. Those Omega Mats are going to be required to level up your abilities past, usually it's past level 6 or 7. So what I've seen on average is most characters require 4 to 5 to take their abilities up to that next level. The nice thing about this event is that it's not just an Omega. You get those other ability mats, and then the first match actually gives you like 100,000 credits, 111,000 I think, 112. So it's a nice little event that's going on right now. If you don't have the characters, I mean, there's not really a whole lot you can do to unlock a character or get an extra star level in the next 6 hours, 12 hours, however long you have before the next event starts. But it is rotating on seems like a daily basis, so we'll see how long this keeps going. I'm afraid it's going to end tonight. Tonight is the Saturday, I guess it would be the 16th. So other things that happened this week was after they pushed this patch, things got really messed up in game. I'm sure all of you noticed that the challenges got ungodly hard. The General Veers challenge in particular, that one, I was running that challenge with 2 level 73 7-star characters, a level 76-star, actually 3 level 76-star characters, and I was unable to get that challenge completed, which is just ridiculous. As you can see here, I was able to actually get this challenge completed just because I have a rather cohesive group to get that challenge completed. Since this video was recorded, they did push another patch that gave us all of those rewards, those goodies, so to speak, and they also patched the challenges, I believe, because I was able to actually beat the final tier tank challenge. I'll have to record some of that gameplay and put it out in a separate video, but I was able to actually complete that challenge, so I thought that was pretty nice that they got that taken care of so fast. It was only messed up for a matter of days, and I feel like they pretty much made up for that with the 250 crystals and the boatload of other mats. So I'm not too pissed off anymore, although I was pretty heated the day that the first couple days that this patch was out and live. So they've kind of made things right for the most part, aside from that little bit of headache that I got from being a little irritated about not being able to complete some challenges. It was a little frustrating. But all in all, what I did notice was this was, as I mentioned, pre the hotfix that pushed out yesterday. So this gameplay is sped up quite a bit because prior to that hotfix, all of these characters, all of the, I guess you could say the baddies, the weaker peons in the first 2 stages of these challenges just had ridiculous amounts of health. It just took a while to clear them. Not like they were giving me any trouble, it's just they took a while. It's just annoying more than anything. So going into Galactic War is probably something that's still causing me to get a little frustrated. Protection obviously was added in this new patch, and I'm kind of torn on how I like it or not. Protection is convenient for Galactic War, or rather for arenas, squad battles, because it kind of does add that strategic element to the game now, where you kind of have to account for protection on the enemy team, which means that you're not going to be able to two-shot or one-shot your enemies. So now you have to kind of account for your enemy healers actually getting their heals off. You have to account for tanks getting those taunts. You have to account for a lot of different factors now. You can't just go in with a team that just does massive damage real fast and just count on DPSing them to death, so to speak. What I've noticed, and you'll see later on in this video, I have some arena gameplay, that having tanks actually works very well now in arenas. One of the most powerful tanks right now, obviously, is the Royal Guard. I don't know if they'll maybe nerf his or her. I don't know what gender that character is, but I don't know if they're going to nerf that character's protection or health pool, because right now it is ungodly. It's ridiculous. Couple that with the fact that the Royal Guard is relatively slow, and you've got that taunt just hanging out there for quite some time. And if you don't have a character like Asajj Ventress or Qui-Gon Jinn in your arena lineup to remove that taunt, then you are going to be running into some trouble in the arenas. Another thing that was done was obviously the character balancing with their speed. I haven't really noticed a whole lot of nerfing of high speed damage or high speed characters damage as much. Qui-Gon Jinn still hits relatively hard. The one character I do know that got nerfed relatively, I won't say a lot, but enough that I noticed a difference, was Yoda. His special attack that stuns targets under 50%, I did notice was hitting a little bit softer. Still hits for around 2.5, 3K, but it was hitting for almost 4K pre-patch, so that did get a little nerfed. Geonosian Soldier, I haven't seen his damage drop as much. There's a small damage decrease there, but not enough that I am willing to say that he got significantly nerfed. Geonosian Soldier is still a very powerful character, so I'll probably continue working on him eventually. One character that I am very, very excited did not get significantly nerfed was Ahsoka Tano. Obviously, I'm a big fan of hers. The fact that she is a low speed character, but through passive abilities is very high speed, as long as she's not crit, makes what really worried me. I was worried that she was going to get her damage nerfed because she had that passive ability that increased her speed. However, the exact opposite was true. She got a damage buff. Very slight, but enough that in my opinion, it makes her a very, very valuable character. You saw some gameplay with her a little bit earlier on in the video, and she is hitting on average for about 1 to 2, in some cases 300 damage higher than she was pre-patch. So that excited me a little bit. Good to see that one of my favorite characters is still a very powerful character in the game. So, along with Ahsoka Tano, Asajj Ventress. You saw some Asajj Ventress gameplay here a little earlier, and she is hitting pretty stinking hard still, which is pretty awesome. I'm real happy that some of the characters that were very often overlooked by other players have been reworked and are now more viable characters. First and foremost, Stormtrooper Han. Don't ask me why I ever picked him up and decided to take him to 7 stars. Chalk that up to the fact that Han Solo is one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe, and I guess that pretty much explains it. That and the fact that he's actually a pretty good tank for manipulating turn meters. And since turn meter manipulation is becoming much more of an effective tactic in arenas, squad arenas especially, you start looking at Han as a more viable team member in your squad arenas, especially since they boosted the effect that defense and resistance play in the game now. Han's leader ability, increasing the team's defense by 35 above 50% health and increasing their offense by 35% below 50% health, makes him a very viable and strong candidate for your leader ability or leader slot in your squad arenas. So definitely something to consider. I am going back to the Galactic War here. This last team had Old Ben as the leader. Now, I had never seen anybody put Old Ben in as a leader, so I had to check his leader ability. And I was kind of interested to see that it's kind of a similar leader ability to Count Dooku in that it grants everybody evasion, but it gives everybody who evades 25% turn meter rather than offense up. So it'd be interesting to see if Old Ben, since he's farmable now, might be making appearances into squad lineups in the future, maybe. Since everybody right now is using Count Dooku, see if maybe Old Ben works his way in there as a leader. So right here, you'll see that I want a little slow-mo to show off my brain dead moment. Instead of consuming all of the buffs on the opponent's team, I did a mass AoE. Don't ask me why. That was the dumbest thing I could have done. But at any rate, it didn't have that much of an effect on me because I eventually did come out with the W. But it was just like one of those moments where you're just, after you press the button, you're like, oh my god, did I really just do that? But like I said, still killed him. Finished the match. My biggest gripe right now with Galactic War is protection. Protection annoys me. My teams usually run out of protection, or rather my core team runs out of protection by the third, fourth, maybe I might have one or two characters that still have protection left over for like the fifth match. But every other team that I face is faced, as long as they are gear level 7, they have protection. Yay! So it's frustrating. In my opinion, they need to just take protection out of Galactic War because it makes things very frustrating. You notice that I found a Darth Vader shard there in the shard shop. I always try, well, I won't say always because some days I forget to check the shard shop because it's way over there on the right side of the screen, but I like to try and pick up Darth Vader shards when I can. So here's some Squad Arena gameplay with Han Solo in lead. I've been having great success with having him out in the lead. He went down pretty quick this time. You'll notice that the opposing Phasma got her advantage buff up very quick, and with IG-88's insane damage on crits, Han Solo went down fast. Now, with that advantage buff, I was kind of torn when I heard the original news that it was being converted to a guaranteed crit on one turn. But since playing with it, I've come to really appreciate it. It can be used pretty strategically with characters that have AoE attacks, like Asajj Ventress. She has that AoE that already hit pretty hard. With her small damage increase with the balancing with speed on top of the advantage, you saw her crit for 3.5 to 4K on every single character on the opposing team. So I'm digging it. It's the patch initially put a pretty bad taste in my mouth, but I think I've come around to it fairly well. Go ahead and let me know your opinions, guys. Let me know whether you think the patch ruined the game, made it better, or you're indifferent. Either way, go ahead, like, favorite, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks. Catch you later.